Hi everybody, my name is Mike and I sell on eBay as Mike Amando. Been selling for about 20 years now. If you have ever wanted to have a quick and easy way to determine whether you should buy something or not and what price you should price it out once you get ready to list, I think you're going to enjoy what we have to show you today. Welcome to the LCS Basics video. In this video, I'm going to show you a set of numbers that you can find very easily. You can use those numbers to determine whether or not you should buy something, what profit you could expect from it, and how quickly you might sell it. I'm going to explain to you how you can find these numbers. It's blindingly simple and you already know how to do it. And then I'm going to talk about two kinds of things that you can derive from the numbers. But let's go ahead and get started with the LCS score. LCS stands for listed, completed, and sold, and you can immediately guess from that the numbers we're going to be looking at. The first number we're looking for, obviously, is the listed number. What we want to know is how many of these items are listed right now. That's going to give us right away the supply. The LCS score allows you to get the supply and demand for the market as it stands right now. And the first number, the listed number, gives you the supply. So as we look at the screen right here, I'm going to show you a particular item that we have actually recently sold. This is a Toshiba VHS DVD player. And this is the current set of listed units. So the L for this particular listing is 68. Now, that number can be found right here at the top, and whether you have these showing current listings or you're looking at completed or sold, that number that you're looking for is right there at the top left corner. As a side note, I always sort price plus shipping highest first because that is what is important to your customer. They want to know, what does it cost to get this to my door? And that is price plus shipping. So I always sort it highest to lowest so it's easy to scan. I know exactly what I'm looking at. And it always includes price and shipping. Over here on the left side now is where you can choose to look at completed and sold listings. So you're just going to click on that. And what you're going to see is that this is refreshed. And now we are looking at 115 completed items. Now right away, this is an exciting number, because it's bigger than the number that are listed right now. We've got more completed items than are actually listed. That's a really good thing. Now the completed score, the completed, is a little less important than the other two numbers. What's really vitally important is the number that's listed and the number that's sold, because that gives you supply and demand. The completed is helpful in some cases, so I always look it up, I always write it down, and I always have it there in case I want to get a little closer look at how people are listing things. Is anybody in the market repeatedly listing something as bidding? If you have a lot more that are completed than are sold, it might mean that a lot of people are doing a lot of natural bidding process instead of buy it now. I'm going to go ahead and write that number down all the time. And the way I write these numbers down, by the way, is listed / completed / sold. I actually write it down that way in my notes. And if I'm going to an auction and I look up stuff in advance, I'll have that listed down, the LCS score for each item, so that I have it right in front of me. So let's go ahead and take a look now at the sold for this particular one. I've already got it pulled up here, and we can see we have 113 sold. So there's not a big difference on this one between completed and sold. That's often the case. But what is a beautiful thing to see is that we have 113 sold versus 60 listed, and those are really, really good numbers. Sorry, I guess it was 68 listed. That's a really, really good set of numbers to work with, and you're going to see why when we talk about the couple of numbers that you can derive from that. As a reminder, the LCS gives us supply and demand. The L, the listed, is our current supply. The S, the sold, is the demand expressed as the number of buyers that have bought one of these in the last 90 days. It's always important to remember that the sold number is over a period of 90 days, whereas the listed is a snapshot in time. All of this gives you the ability to get a good feel on the strength of the market, and that gives you a lot of power in determining how you want to price things. So let's take a look then at the first derived number that we can get from the LCS score, and that's going to be the selling ratio. This is going to give you a concept of the supply and demand for this particular item on eBay. It's really a quick and easy way to get a view of how strong the market is for the thing you're trying to sell. The selling ratio is derived by taking the number sold and putting it over the number that are listed right now. So it's sold over listed. So in this case, for this particular VCR DVD combo, we express the selling ratio as 113 over 68. So that's 113 that have sold in the last 90 days versus the 68 that are listed right now. You can immediately see that we've got a number greater than 1 there. If you do the math, it comes out to 1.66 to 1. That means for every one that's listed right now, 1.66 of them are going to sell in the next 90 days if the selling rate stays the same. You can't predict the future, but you can a little bit. It's never a guarantee. It may not sell like that in the coming days, but over the last 90 days, on average, there's been 1.66 of these sell for every one that's listed now. That's a strong demand versus supply for this item. I love it when I see this number higher than 1. If you see a selling ratio that hits 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, that's an amazing position to be in. And as a seller, it gives you all kinds of flexibility in how you want to price that. The higher that number is, the higher you can slide your price to the top and expect it to actually sell for that money. The other number that we can derive right now is the selling rate. The selling rate is going to tell you how often one of these items sells. So in this particular case, again, we've got 113 of these that have sold. Now we're going to express that as 90, because that's the number of days we're dealing with, over 113 items. In other words, 90 days over sold. In this case, 90 over 113. That gives us about 1 sale every 0.8 days. Now you can do a lot of things with that number to put it in a way that makes more sense, but basically more of these than 1 sell every single day. If you multiply that by 7, it comes out to about 5 or 6 of these sell a week. Okay, that's a pretty strong selling rate. That means over a period of a couple of weeks, there's going to be 14 of these sell, 13, 12. Strong demand, a high sales rate, you can slide your price up closer to the top. Now, there's always going to be a selling point or a range at which if you go above, it's not going to bring the money. It's never going to sell. And these numbers are also going to help you find that out. We're going to talk about that in some of the other more detailed videos. I hope that this gives you a quick overview of what the LCS is and how you might use it. Check out our other videos for more detailed information. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. You're going to find videos about some unique items that we found. We're going to tell you how we priced them and how they sold. And we'll talk a lot more in depth about this LCS score. Thanks a lot and happy selling.